So there's a quote that I thought a lot about today by William Faulkner, and it's very simple. The past isn't dead, it's not even past. And the reason I thought about that quote so much today is because during Rafael Devers' pregame availability, one where he spoke to members, more notably of the Boston media, in addition to some local reporters, the reason I thought about that quote is because Rafael Devers wanted to leave a lot of things in the past. There was just a lot of questions that he had no interest in answering in any type of detail, to be quite frank. Did he want to leave the Red Sox? That's in the past. Is there anything that the Red Sox could have done to repair the disconnect between him and the team? That's in the past. I really don't want to talk about it. Did the Red Sox disrespect Devers in the process? I don't want to talk about the past. There was nearly, by my count, roughly 10 occasions. I think it was 8 or 9, depending on your interpretation of the questions themselves. But on nearly 10 occasions, Rafael Devers said something to the effect of, it's in the past, or I want to concentrate on the future with this new team. His new team, of course, being the San Francisco Giants.
How surprising was it for you? How do you feel about going down?
No, me he ido sintiendo cómodo aquí y todos los días me he ido sintiendo mejor, gracias a Dios. Y, ¿cómo decirlo? ¿Todo bien?
Everything is good. I've been feeling very comfortable as every day goes, so I'm good.
Rafi, what's this weekend for you? Just seeing these guys so soon after the trade.
No, han pasado esta semana han pasado muchas cosas, pero ya me siento un poco mejor. Vi a mis amigos, compartí con ellos ayer. Estoy contento de parte.
It's been a few hectic days. Long week feels like it, but I saw my friends yesterday, so I'm very happy to be able to see them, and I'm very happy.
What did you see?
I can be
A los míos de los otros equipos, pero ya lo vi a ellos y me he ido sintiendo cómodo y hablé con ellos, que eso no pasa cada vez que cambia un jugador, que vea a los míos de una vez.
Yeah, my friends from the other team. I saw them, I spent some time with them, and it's kind of strange to see them so soon.
Rafi, now that time has passed, did you want to leave?
Ya eso quedó en el pasado, como lo dije, ya eso son decisiones que yo no las controlaba, eso son decisiones del equipo y eso para mí quedó en el pasado.
That's in the past. Those are not decisions that I control, and that's I'm living that in the past right now.
Rafi, there was obviously kind of a disconnect between you and the team in the last few months. Is there anything that they could have done to repair that?
¿Hay algo que el equipo pudiera haber hecho para arreglar esa miscomunicación que no hubo entre el equipo y tú?
No, como lo dije anteriormente, ya eso quedó en el pasado, ya lo que pasó, pasó y no estoy para hablar de ese tema, sino disfrutar y dar lo mejor de mí en todo el lugar con necesidad.
Like I said, that's in the past. I really don't want to talk about it. I want to concentrate now on what's holding, what's in the future for me.
There were a lot of reports about Christian Campbell who said this was false, but that you were mad about him taking grounders at first base. He said it's not true, so would you say the same thing?
No, yo nunca dije nada de eso, no tengo por qué meterme en este tipo de conversación. Lo mío es jugar pelota y siempre lo he tratado de hacer.
Again, I didn't say anything like that. I really don't want to talk about it. I just want to concentrate on what's ahead for me.
But there were a couple of occasions where Devers did pull the curtain back a little bit when asked the right question. There is a... What is that? Is that raccoon? Is that a ferret? What is that? Oh my god! I wish I recorded that. That was like a ferret. That was not part of the. I swear I'm not making this up. Anyways, back to the matter of Devers. There were some occasions where Devers did kind of peel back the curtain a little bit when he was asked the right question. One of the questions was, when was the last time he was this happy? And he said it's kind of been a while since he's been this happy. And as you would imagine, given the way tensions arose during the end of his tenure in Boston, how things going back to the whole designated hitter fiasco when Alex Bregman signed with the team, to the team asking him to play first base, it was a lot kind of boiling over, even with the $313.5 million contract that he signed in 2023. a lot had happened between the signing of that contract and between the way that his tenure ended. There was also the matter, if I can find it right here, if there was anything that he wishes he did differently at the end of his tenure in Boston. He said nothing. I feel like I put up good numbers over there. I always gave my 100%. Now, there's also the matter of first base that was going to be discussed with Rafael Devers. And this is something that he did go into a little bit of detail, and he said that if they had asked him during spring training to play first base, he would have done so. Now, it is worth noting that they probably wouldn't have had a reason to ask because Tristan Casas had yet to suffer a season-ending injury, so there wasn't a need for Devers to play first base at that point. But I think the point still stands that if there had been I think the more general point is that if there was a more open line of communication throughout all of this, Devers would have been more receptive to some type of change. And that's pretty much the majority of what came out of today's about 15-minute interview scrum prior to today's game. There was also the matter of Kristen Campbell. There was a report that Devers allegedly felt a type of way when the Red Sox had Christian Campbell take grounders at first base following the injury to Casas. Campbell himself said that was false, and then Devers said earlier today that he didn't ever express any of those types of sentiments. And that was the majority of what came out of today's pregame availability with reporters. As far as the game itself, this was, of course, Devers' first opportunity to face his old team. It was very unique timing given that the trade happened less than a week ago. The trade was announced on Sunday. It's currently Friday, so 5 days between one of the most shocking trades in recent memory and having to go face said team that he was traded away from. I think even with like the Luka trade, it was a couple weeks to kind of let things breathe a little bit. And here, depending on how you see things, the wound is kind of still fresh in a sense. And the stage was set for Devers to potentially have his coming out party as a San Francisco Giant. But in his first game against his old team, he went 0 for 5. With a strikeout. He had some opportunities with runners on bases. In the 5th and 7th innings, he came to the plate with Elliot Ramos on base after Ramos had singled. I think he flew out, ground out in his first plate appearance of the night. He actually received a standing ovation, and when you were looking at the stands, you could see a mix of both Red Sox fans and some Giants fans. There were some Red Sox fans that were standing. There were some Red Sox fans that were sitting. I don't have an exact number of how many were standing and weren't, but a decent amount of Red Sox fans showing admiration for their former team. I thought that was the ferret behind me, whatever that thing was that I saw running on the field. And then in his final plate appearance of the night, he strikes out on a 101.8 mile per hour fastball by Aroldis Chapman. I don't want to delve too much into the game itself. It was one of those. It wasn't exactly the Giants' cleanest game or crispest game of the year. They went 2 for 10 with runners in the scoring position. Hayden Birdsong allowed 5 runs over 4 1/3 innings. Christian Koss made some really weird history, became the first Giant since Jose Castillo in 2008, rest in peace to the late Jose Castillo, to ground into 2 double plays with the bases loaded and no outs. But there was a little bit of a skirmish after the game between Aroldis Chapman and Wilmer Flores. Flores hits a game-ending pop-out. He's walking back to the dugout. Chapman had some words for him. Flores has some words back. A couple members of the Giants come onto the field, and the whole episode lasted about 30 minutes, or not 30 minutes, 30 seconds rather. It wasn't anything crazy. It was over just like that. But when Flores was asked about it after the game, all he said was he heard Chapman saying something towards him. He wanted to ask what he was saying. That was pretty much it. For all the theatrics, that was pretty much all it boiled down to. Chapman was saying something. Flores wanted to know what he was saying. And that was pretty much it. So that is the end of the first of 3 games that Devers will play against his former team. The Giants have lost 3 of their first 4 games with Devers in the lineup. We'll be back out here in roughly 12 hours for the second game of this 3-game set. And it'll be Devers' second opportunity of this 3-game set to face his former team and potentially do a little bit of damage.